Hello everybody and welcome back to Wandertrek. So I am back in the world right where we left off, and I'm in an ocean. So yeah, this week, this is my week back for producing content after last week where I was working mainly on the how to build chapter 4. I still have not released the image guide for that because I haven't really had any time over the past 2 days, but I'll have a lot more time on Thursday and Friday, so hopefully I'll be able to finish that up on those days. And yeah, I'll talk a little bit about that to start off with. So yeah, I made that. I did it in a new format this time. Come on, don't break, don't break. Good job. So that's disappointing. So I made this sort of map, and it was sort of a guided thing, and it ended up being sort of crappy. Well, crappy might be a bit too strong. It was boring, I guess. And I think that's just sort of when... Oh, crap. Oh, Jesus! Run. Don't want to die. Ooh, they're coming. Oh, dang it. Okay, anyways, so yeah, it was a bit boring because like if it's sort of it was sort of too laid out that time, and just anytime I know exactly what I'm going to be saying, but I don't have a script, it ends up being sort of dull. So I think, at least in the next time, I'm going to have to leave a bit more room for improvisation, because that will hopefully end up making it much better. So I was talking with Zwaffum, actually. For those who do not know who Zwaffum is, he is one of the members of Arlibru, which is, at this point, it's sort of hard to explain. I'm trying to come up with a word for it. It's not as official now, because I'm really the only one making videos, and I haven't done any videos with them anytime recently. But I intend to start doing that a little bit more, because, yeah, it makes for good content, I think. But I was talking with him, and the next how to build, oh god, my throat, every time. The next how to build might be a bit more, or it might involve 2 people, me and him, just to get some banter going. I'm going to cook up my raw pork. Boom. 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 And boom. Okay. So while that's cooking... Oh, I forgot I had diamonds. Let's grab a little bit of wood so I can finish that up. Yeah, so I posted the video on Reddit this time instead of the image guide, which was a huge risk, and it did not pay off because I only got about I'm trying to remember, it was about 63 views, and compared to like the 500 views I got last time, that was pretty underwhelming. But I'm going to post a video link in the image guide, so I will hopefully get more of a boost from that. I was sort of counting on this to give me a boost, and I was sort of setting up something that I was planning to do right afterwards, but I'm going to do it anyways, because why not? So those 2 things that I've been, well, not necessarily working on, but planning, are a Twitter and a Twitch. So Twitter, what would be on my Twitter? It'd probably be obviously video updates, some spoiler stuff about the next building guides or videos or projects that I had coming up. yeah, just updates if I'm not going to be releasing a video at the normal time, and just generally other stuff. And Twitch, obviously, is live streams. But I had an idea. This is back when I was still set on Metropolis being survival only, that I was going to do like these, God, the word that I came up with now that I'm thinking of saying it out loud, I don't want to, but funky grind. Because I'd recently discovered a bunch of really awesome, like this. It's called neo-funk, because it sort of combines the electric genre with the funk genre, which actually ends up sounding pretty awesome. And what the stream is going to be is, like, I grind for resources on a I mean, if I were to still do it, then I would be doing it on the DevCraft server, or I might just be building random crap on Metropolis. But yeah, that's what the funky grind would be, and just playing funky music in the background. So if anybody's interested in that, you can leave it in the comments. If anybody's particularly not interested in that, you can also leave it in the comments. Just getting feedback. But otherwise, I would just be doing things on weekends, because I don't really have that much time during the week. And I might be doing either like planned things, like on the DevCraft server or Metropolis, or New Metropolis it is now. Or I might just be doing various PvP stuff. Like, I've been playing a lot on the Project Ares server lately, or Overcast Network, which is what it is now. I was playing it back when it was just Project Ares, and they only had... I was back before Nostalgia, which is one of the servers that is specifically comprised of old maps. So I was playing back when some of those maps were actually still being played regularly. So I've been on there for a while, and I really enjoy playing it. If my computer ever grows to like high pixel again, last time I was on that server, it was giving me like 3 FPS for some reason. But yeah, I might do PvP stuff. I might just do random building stuff. But if anybody has some ideas for that or suggestions, then make sure to leave them in the comments. I'll probably talk about it during videos in the future, and I'll make sure to update information on that. I would say that I do it in the DevCraft episode, but I've actually already recorded my DevCraft episode for this week. I have done something a bit different than normal, and it's a very entertaining episode, or at least it was very entertaining to record. So, yeah, that's that. So, yeah, I covered that, so let's talk about some more stuff. Oh yeah, here's a good one. I talked, I think a few weeks ago about... Actually, no, it's probably closer to a month or two ago now. But I talked a little bit about the Gamergate situation. And since then, I guess I sort of caught on to the early end of it, because I'm subscribed to this subreddit called Tumblr in Action, which is just a bunch of sort of stuff about like crazy... Because like for those who don't know the stereotype, it's sort of hard to explain, but just like I don't like using the term political correctness as a bad thing, because I'm generally into political correctness, but just like the anti-cisgendered, we got a mesa. Anti-cisgendered, anti-straight people, anti-white males, that just general thing, but taken to the max. And so I'd subscribe to it because hello there. What are you doing? I have no idea what that boat just did. Wait, is this just a... Oh, this is disappointing. Oh no, there's more mist over there. I thought it was just 2 islands in the middle of the ocean that were just red sand. That'd actually be pretty cool, but still disappointing. But I just had subscribed to it because there's some. Wait, I'm not sure if I've even technically subscribed to it. I just visit it pretty often, but it's just sort of funny hearing some of the ridiculous logic. But yeah, and then I learned about the Gamergate thing from there, and then it's really exploded in the past 2 weeks, and yeah, I've pretty much decided that I'm no longer willing to take a side, because I think one of the most important things to do in debates like this is to get both sides of the story. And so I've been following both Gamergate affiliated publications and non-anti-Gamergate affiliated publications, and it really does show off the level of bias that we have in really anything. So it's sort of, the whole thing has sort of opened my eyes generally to how biased everybody is. And I don't mean this isn't like an attack on anybody, because I mean, I know I'm just as biased as probably all these people out there. But I sort of got to the point where once I saw both sides of the story, it's really hard to pick because they're both right, so to speak. Because they both have their pros, they both have their cons. And I've been surrounded generally in my life by a very liberal atmosphere, just with my family and close community. And then actually very recently I started coming into contact with more conservative people. And so I sort of expanded my horizons, so to speak. And I learned that both sides have points. Both sides use really the same tactics to get people to believe in them. It's, in a way it makes you lose hope, but in a way it sort of also makes you gain hope, because it means, well, it means that everybody's wrong, but everybody's right too. It's hard to explain. Like this is pretty much the sum of what I've been thinking about for the past 3 weeks, because I've been making a transition from being mostly liberal to being pretty much almost right in between. I think I would still say I'm socially liberal. Just like I support gay marriage, gender equality, racial equality, all that fun stuff. And I think that poor people should not be getting the short end of the stick just because they're poor, stuff like this. But I've never leaned one way or another when it comes to fiscal. For those who don't know what fiscal is, that means like how the economy is managed. Because I think really either way could work, depending on what you're trying to go for in general. But yeah, I feel that like now if I were to vote, because I'll be able to vote in the next election, which is pretty cool. But if I were to vote, I might probably just register it as an independent at this point. Don't want to deal with too much politics. I've never liked politics. It's just, the only reason I use politics is for like a slightly more intelligent version of a reality show. Because for those who weren't following the 2012 presidential elections, they were amazing. Because it's just, the characters in there were just fantastic. It gets slightly more morbid when you think that some of these people might end up running our country, but I mean, they didn't. So, I mean, people might feel the same way about Barack Obama, and some people do. So, but yeah, some of the people running were pretty insane. So I think I might have encroached a bit too far into the political spectrum in this episode, so I want to move back away from that. And oh yeah, there was some news regarding 1.9 today. So Dinnerbone tweeted out that they are in fact working on 1.9, which is super good news. Everybody's sort of worried. Oh, whoops. Hit my mouse there for a second. Back going west. I mean, I'm sure some people thought that there weren't going to be any updates anymore now that Microsoft had bought Mojang. But I mean, I know I had thought that it was going to be at least a few months until we got any further updates. But it looks like that deal was made early September, I think, and they're already close to done with 1.8.1. And going to be working on 1.9 after that, which I'm excited for. I still really hope that it's going to be like a seasons update, or just like an overall atmospheric update with seasons, some more atmospheric noises, mobs, better weather system. I've wanted a better weather system for almost as long as I wanted seasons. One reason I want seasons so much is just because like Dinnerbone has tweeted out so many times. It's like, oh yeah, working on seasons. It's like, oh yeah, I came up with a really good thing for seasons today. But then he doesn't talk about it then for like 6 months. And I've gotten so excited so many times, and just to be let down so much. It's really tragic. Deal with it. You glitches out. I saw a bow there. Apparently that was just my imagination. I should probably sleep. Don't deal with mobs. Okay, we have 3 minutes left. So yeah, he didn't really specify what's going to be in 1.9. Just said it's going to be things and stuff, I think was the exact words used. But, I mean, I know that they have a tendency to change their mind on what they're going to end up doing anyways, so... Like, there was a... Ooh. Oh, I thought that was a jungle temple for some reason. Dinnerbone had a AMA on Reddit. For those who don't know what an AMA is, it's Ask Me Anything. So he held it's a Q&A session, basically, on Reddit, I think a few months before 1.8 was started being released, or started being developed. And one of the things was asked is, like, there was a bunch of 1.8 questions on there. And, like, he said a bunch of things like, we're planning on changing mobs in a big way, but not the way you'd expect. And another one was, there's going to be 2 major themes of the update, and neither of those things really seem to come to fruition, unless there's some other big change to mobs that I don't know about. I know a few mobs got some changes, like wolves and skeletons now interact. And there's a whole no AI tag, which makes it so that like they don't do anything. But I wouldn't really count that as a feature. Well, it's a feature, but I wouldn't count it as like a thing. Like, it's hard to explain. So they change their minds, and they are allowed to do that. They've made the game pretty good so far, so I have hope for the future. So we have about a minute left, and we've come to the shore once again. I thought there were supposed to be less oceans after 1.7, but it seems like I've been getting more than enough. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to fill up this next minute. I'm very tempted to do a MLG water bucket drop, but I would spawn about 35,000 blocks in that direction if I were to fall and die, so I'm not going to do that. I mean, it's not a huge deal because really this is just talking. The walking doesn't really matter, but it helps. Just something to do, buttons to press while I talk. We have a grayscale sheep family over here. It's interesting. But we have only a few seconds left, so if you liked, you can leave a like. If you really liked and would like to see more, you can subscribe. And yeah, until next time, goodbye.